All right, so now we are going into 100 Thieves versus Evil Geniuses, which two teams that we have seen kind of struggle to find their feet in coming into these splits recently, with Meteos kind of showing some past experience in the jungle and really trying to make some waves, but also ultimately falling short in a lot of ways. You know, Cody's son having some of his own issues on Evil Genius's side, Jizuke having almost being like a loss condition for Evil Geniuses for a while, being that he kind of ended up getting caught out or misplaying, ending up being a bit of an anchor for the team. But coming into this season, he has found his feet a lot more, really proving to be a star mid laner, showing a lot of prowess and a lot of potential, as well as just really putting on his carry pants and moving the team forward, making sure that they can make some strides in the game. So we'll definitely be looking to him to see how he plays. Evil Geniuses kind of spreading the bans out a little bit. Looks like one towards Meteos with the Trundle, a ban to Ryoma with the Syndra, keeping that Varus away from Cody's son. Over on 100 Thieves, same kind of thing. A ban towards Svenskeren with the Graves, Bang with Callista and Kumo for Set, keeping those safe pick away from Kumo. 100 Thieves just quickly locking in that Ornn, making sure they have a very safe lane in the top for someday. Gonna probably allow Meteos to focus more on Ryoma, Cody's son, that bottom side of the map, make sure that dragon control is in 100 Thieves' favor as much as possible. Evil Genius is responding by just first picking their bot lane, taking Aphelios and Yuumi, allowing them to also have a pretty safe bot lane, but ultimately one that will scale very hard, allow for some of that late game potential from Aphelios once he gets a few items, really gets his damage rolling, and Yuumi will be able to keep him safe with being able to provide that shield, the speed boost, the heal, as well as just continuing to poke their lane opponents, kind of making sure that they aren't just forced into a very passive lane in spite of Yuumi's much smaller presence than some of the other support options out there, like, you know, the Nautilus or a Thresh even, where you could kind of go for those harder engages. Yuumi instead is going to allow Bang to play a lot safer. Then 100 Thieves picking an Ezreal in return for Cody's son. An interesting pick when he cannot have the Yuumi on there. So he's going to end up with a very interesting situation, kind of depending on what support stunt ends up taking along with him, but a very safe support, or a very safe AD carry rather, for Cody's son, with that built-in escape on top of his flash, so he'll have the ability to play very safe or even very aggressive should he choose to. And then over on Evil Geniuses locking in the Kindred, 100 Thieves locking in the Olaf, both junglers picked, both with pretty strong early game damage potentials. Although I'm going to give the gank potential over to Meteos with Olaf with the slow on his axes, whereas Kindred's going to want to play more of a farm, play more into the long game, become more of a damage threat once she gets to 4 hunts, gets that range increase, and ends up just getting to where she scales a lot harder, can get some of those proc to ease once she gets a few hits there, doing some of that percent damage, which will be pretty key towards taking down that Ornn, who, the longer the game goes on, the harder he's going to be to fight, being that now 2 of EG's damage threats are 80 carry style champions. So he's going to be able to build something like a Thornmail, Ninja Tabi, and it's going to allow him to really reduce the damage, especially with that Aatrox pick now. So now there's 3 champions that utilize auto attacks pretty heavily. Aatrox a little less so. He does rely on abilities pretty heavily, but still an attack damage champion. So armor is going to be very, very effective on Ornn. He's going to become incredibly tanky, with right now the only threat on Evil Genius's side to him that is not attack damage is Yuumi, who really is not going to provide any real significant threat to Sunday's health pool as like at large. And then 100 Thieves just rounding out their comp with some more poke. So Ezreal and Zoe going to be able to really whittle down onto EG from a distance before Ryoma and Someday can put off a very hard engage, or Nautilus can get a good dredge line. I think that's going to be where from 100 Thieves we're going to be looking a lot, is on either a dredge line from Stunt or a Call of the Forge God from Ornn. Just some of these major engages that are going to force Evil Geniuses to fight. And a Corki pick is an interesting choice for Evil Geniuses, because sure, he can have a very high amount of AP damage. His passive is going to convert a significant portion of his basic attacks and everything into magic damage, but he's still an AD carry. He's still going to be ability based like Aatrox, but someday is going to be able to get incredibly tanky against the Evil Geniuses lineup. He's going to be a major threat. Stunt, the same. He's going to be able to build with just a couple items a significant defensive stat line that's going to make Evil Geniuses' life a lot harder. And from Evil Geniuses, I don't really see a huge overarching strategy here. It looks like they'll have very fast objective control. They'll be able to take a dragon or a baron very quickly once some of those champions come online, but they don't have the strongest front line, with Aatrox in the top lane, who wants to be more of a bruiser than a full tank, and then Yuumi on support, who offers no front line. They don't really have a main tank. They have Kindred and Corki, who do have their own escapes. Aphelios, who does not. Aphelios has no actual method to help himself get out beyond Yuumi giving him a speed boost. EG's lineup is looking a little bit weak, to be honest. I think that there's going to be some problems that they have to solve that really are going to come from them trying to get ahead quickly, because if they're not ahead, I see this being a real problem for them. I think as a whole that the 100 Thieves lineup is just a much better draft. They have tanks, they have engage, and then they have poke on top of that to kind of set up for doing some damage, weakening the team, engaging really hard, and finishing it off. They have a very clear game plan in the draft that I feel is lacking on the EG lineup. The triple 80 carry, I'm very interested to see how it plays out, because right now I'm a little nervous as to what it's going to do. And I mean, looking down at the rune choices here, it looks like Someday going for that grasp, going to make sure that he's just getting continually tankier, getting more of that frontline presence for 100 Thieves. Kumo instead opting for the Conqueror, which a great pick all around on Aatrox. Just really reinforce his healing, make him a monster should he be able to get in onto multiple of 100 Thieves, be able to heal a significant amount. And 100 Thieves looks like they are just going to go for the blue. They know Kindred's starting red, and there's no wards to spot this out. So 100 Thieves may take this cleanly. Oh, Cody's son missing the blast cone, ending up on the other side of the wall. But of all the champions for that to have happened to, Cody's son is the best one, as he can still help from over the wall, being the only ranged champion of the bunch. And now Stunt and Cody's son are going to walk over a ward there, which is going to show EG that they did take the blue buff as they saw Stunt coming from their side jungle. Svenskeren is going to have a good read here, immediately go over to the blue side blue buff and take that away, while Meteos is over finishing that wolf camp, going for the Gromp, just kind of clearing out that jungle full stop. Ryoma getting some good poke here onto Jizuke in this early phase. I think his damage potential early on is significantly higher. Jizuke really needing to get 6 and get those rockets, so that way he can be continually poking, CSing, whatever he wants to do with more than just the phosphorus bomb on that Q. I think he's going to have a pretty weak lane for at least the first little bit here, with Zoe's potential to be able to really poke him down. The minion dematerializers, they're going to allow him to just really have control over that lane, as long as there is no additional pressure from Svenskeren or Meteos that really offsets that. We did see the mark of the Kindred go onto Ryoma, so Svenskeren is definitely going to be looking for the mid lane. I think he knows that Ryoma, especially with those dematerializers, is going to be pushing in. He's going to have that lane presence that will allow for an easier gank. He will not be pushed in, and he's definitely nearby. He's keeping an eye on that lane. Kumo and Someday just trading blows, but as a whole, no real threat up there. Someday still very tanky. Kumo able to heal up most of the damage he takes in trades, utilizing that passive. And down in bot lane, Yuumi keeping Bang alive pretty consistently, and a huge amount of damage going out very quickly from Cody, from a full rotation from Cody-san off of a dredge line. Svenskeren now chasing Someday through their side jungle. Kumo nowhere to really help. He's going to get a big amount of damage and force the recall, but it's not going to be enough to get a kill. He's going to hop over that wall back to safety. And now Meteos looking to possibly go for a dive here. Stunt at 2/3 HP, not super healthy. And we saw Ryoma wandering down here to help out, but it looks like he's going to go ahead and turn around as 100 Thieves realize this would be a huge overextension now with Bang and Zeyzal falling back so significantly. Just going to land some hits there, not quite get the first turret plate, land a little bit of damage onto Zeyzal there with a Q, but otherwise EG playing pretty safe, making sure that they get out of that with as little damage as possible. Stunt now looks to go either place some wards or just help out Meteos in the jungle here. Svenskeren recalling after his clear. Meteos and Stunt going to continue to clear out his own jungle, which in a way is kind of going to favor Svenskeren, because with him being able to push into the blue side jungle of the blue side jungle, he's going to be able to possibly get some of those hunts onto the other side where his passive marks will be applied, and maybe allow him to get a couple extra hunts without needing to get correct ganks off, get those kills for the people he has targeted, try to get to that 4-stack mark as soon as possible, because that's going to be a big point of contention for EG, is getting Svenskeren that additional range, especially to allow him to play a bit safer, because Kindred's range is very short, especially before you start getting any buffs from your passive. So against 100 Thieves' very engage and poke heavy lineup, Kindred kind of needs some help. Kindred needs to scale up, and if 100 Thieves are pushing out, taking these objectives, not allowing him to get those hunts, that's going to be a problem for Evil Geniuses. You know, built up to about a 400 gold lead now, as 100 Thieves are taking the dragon, going to push that gold lead a little heavier. Svenskeren now in the blue side jungle. Looks like Evil Geniuses are not aware at all of this dragon happening, so that was a clean, easy take from Meteos and Stunt. Stunt kind of just been roaming around with Meteos, making sure that he can just do his thing, get the camps, deny Svenskeren some farm, and he's gotten a 10, and Svenskeren has gotten a 10 CS lead over, or Meteos has gotten a 10 CS lead over Svenskeren, rather. And then Cody-san down in the bottom getting a slight lead over Bang. Cody-san actually picking up a cull. And oh, another good dredge line from Stunt. Going to land onto Bang, deal half his HP. Zeyzal jumps off, grabs that shield, ends up taking quite a bit of damage. Stunt to follow up. Meteos not helping out, just waiting in the wings there. I'm guessing waiting for EG to overextend. Now he's coming back down as they push a little further forward. Ryoma going to land asleep. Jizuke is going to fly back. Ryoma going to have to follow, taking a turret shot in exchange, not winning that fight or that trade at all, and ending up just having to recall from it as well, though he did push the wave into the tower. The whole wave was wiped before the next wave of minions hit, so that is going to be a reset on those waves, but Jizuke teleporting back, going to take a big chunk of damage from Ryoma, and there's not going to be any real dive, no major follow-up. Going to take a bit of damage in return, but the recall's still going to look to go through. And Ryoma's teleport is down, so he's going to have to walk back to lane, which is going to give Jizuke the opportunity to shove the lane into his turret, force him to miss some CS and experience. Svenskeren now taking the blue side blue buff once again. And it looks like, for the most part, Meteos just kind of playing into that bot side jungle on red and blue side. Svenskeren ending up having to do the same on the top side, which plays into 100 Thieves' favor, being that that's going to allow them control over the Dragon Pit. No one really seems to be going for Rift Herald yet. There's not any vision from either team around that area, but Dragon Pit still keeping contested, even though there is 3 minutes until the next dragon now. The first one being a mount and going to allow 100 Thieves a little more pushing power, but there's some pings going out around the Rift Herald. It looks like Evil Geniuses might be looking to make a play there. Svenskeren having a lot of control on that side of the jungle. It's going to be an area where they can get a little more control. Should Meteos and the rest of 100 Thieves not rotate up to try and contest or make something happen here. Mid lane just being pushed back and forth. Yeah, they're just going to go ahead and start the Rift Herald. Going to get spotted out by Stunt here. Meteos very close by. This is going to be not able to be finished. Going to get a big amount of damage there by popping the eye. Meteos and Stunt just going to go ahead and take the Rift Herald from him. Go ahead and start it up. Ryoma doing a big chunk of damage to Jizuke, taking some damage in return. Svenskeren threatening the Rift Herald. Jizuke jumping in with the package. Meteos forced to pop the Unstoppable. He's going to run, but he's going to take enough burn damage that he's going to go down, and that's going to be the Rift Herald over for EG, as they're going to take that very cleanly along with the Rift Scuttle. And a good play by Evil Geniuses there to turn them getting spotted out and really not having the reinforcements nearby to make a very decisive move there, turning that into just waiting patiently, letting their team get to them. Because right here you see Meteos and Stunt able to just start working on this Rift Herald while Ryoma starts knocking through Jizuke, making a bit of a problem there, but Jizuke just continues to go forward, jumps in with the package, and follows up with a huge amount of damage onto Meteos, dropping him very low, allowing that burn damage to finish him off. Kumo rotating down to help, but not even being needed, just throwing a Q onto the Rift Herald, starting to walk back to lane and continue to make problems for Someday, as a very clean fight all around from EG, just getting one kill, a Rift Herald, and the vision control in that area. Really a good fight all around, turning the gold lead back into their favor. And it looks like, with the total gold counts, Jizuke sitting at the top, being the highest farm and a kill in the game, with Zazel and Stunt sitting at the bottom where we would expect. Someday being very low here, ending up with a CS deficit. Not a huge amount of gold behind Kumo, only about 400, but still that CS deficit is starting to be a problem. And we have Bang with the Yuumi going in with the ultimate, causing problems for Stunt, and Cody-san with Svenskeren nearby, but not enough damage as Meteos and Ryoma are now roaming in looking for that kill. Meteos extending a little too far as his team starts to fall back, taking a bit of damage in return. Bang gonna end that with a little under half health and being forced to recall. Yuumi now jumping over to the Kindred. As a whole, a decent trade back and forth, but no real goal there, no real objective. Jizuke going to take a turret shot as Ryoma finishes off those minions, and he wants to get that last turret plate, only having that sliver of health on it. Meteos landing an axe onto Svenskeren. Stunt nearby, and he's going to hit with the dredge line. That's going to lock him up. He does have the Yuumi on him, so this would be 2 kills. Meteos and Stunt going on to him. Ryoma jumping in, missing the Q. Svenskeren jumping in and finishing off Meteos, dropping the ultimate, preventing his death, but that's going to be a finished off Kindred as Cody-san jumps in. A 1-for-1 after all of that. Both junglers being traded. Yuumi getting to jump off onto Bang. What started off as looking like an easy kill for 100 Thieves, Evil Geniuses turning around and making a 1-for-1, ending that in a much better trade overall. Mark of the Kindred going back onto Ryoma. Kindred looking to pick up some more of those stacks, and looking down at the map here, we've got the dragon up again. A lot of vision on both sides, but 100 Thieves having theirs in the area around the pit itself a little more, less just in their side jungle. They have more of that control. Meteos throwing an axe, checking the dragon, starting it off, finding no Evil Geniuses members, but there is no vision here. Stunt gonna go in, grab Svenskeren very quickly, and he's just gonna blow up as Meteos and Ryoma are there to follow up. Zazel being finished off shortly after. The poke damage from Jizuke not enough to actually deter them from that fight. And that's gonna make this dragon free for 100 Thieves, as with no smite pressure, Meteos is just gonna be able to take this with no pressure from Evil Geniuses. A really good catch from 100 Thieves that allowed them to just play onto that vision control that they have, know where the blind spots are for Evil Geniuses, and get a catch onto, with the dragon being the primary objective there, the most important member of Evil Geniuses at that moment. Denying that smite, denying that ability there. And now Kumo and Someday fighting over the blue buff here. Ryoma looking to come in and steal it, but not there fast enough. That's going to be a blue buff over to Kumo. Meteos forced to continue to take the blue buff from Evil Genius's side once again. And now it's a 3v2 as Bang going in with the Yuumi ultimate, a teleport coming in from Kumo. They're going in on a Stunt who's already at half HP. Kumo going to knock him up, land a succession of abilities, drop him very quickly. Meteos now being chased down by Kumo in the river. as Cody's son forced to just run down through his lane, being chased off. That is an easy kill for Evil Geniuses off of what looked like a possible attempted dive. The Rift Herald going to be used by Evil Geniuses to get a big chunk of damage in the top lane, but someday going to be 1v1ing Svenskeren, use that Call of the Forge God, but with the knockback, Svenskeren able to get out cleanly. Meteos now fighting Zazel and Kumo at his red buff, taking a bunch of damage and falling as Cody's son continues to try and poke some damage. Ryoma now showing up to help out, going to stop that blast cone from being used to get over the wall, but Jizuke is now here to reinforce. Exhaustion going out onto Ryoma, forced to flash the wall. He's going to continue to poke damage onto Jizuke. Someday, Cody-san and Stunt now pushing out. Someday taken very low, has to flash the chain from Aatrox. Kumo very low on health, going to get healed up a little bit by Yumi, but it's not going to be enough as Ryoma jumps in and finishes him off. Yumi jumping over to Jizuke, who's going to continue to poke. Several members of 100 Thieves very low. That red buff being a very desired target, it seems here, but the extra brush offered by the Ocean Drake going to allow them to avoid the vision, but he's continuing to fight. Bang's now coming to help. There are 4 members of 100 Thieves here against the 3 of Evil Geniuses. The poke and the extra healing from Zazel allowing them to stay in this a lot longer than they otherwise would have. Meteos getting spotted out by Bang, going to continue to clear that camp as they all fall back. A bit of a crazy fight there. It seemed like Evil Geniuses were trying to push a little hard and might have ended up paying a little bit for that in ways that they didn't have to. They were just really trying to get that red buff, really trying to deny resources to 100 Thieves who really, I don't know if it was needed. So it looks like Kumo, not seeing Meteos, decided to start up this red buff, and then Meteos jumping in, the 1v1 beginning, Kumo knowing Zazel's nearby, Meteos thinking Cody's son is nearby, but the amount of damage going on to Meteos is so quick that he falls near immediately. Zazel keeping Kumo topped up, and then a bunch of damage from Ryoma coming in. Kumo has to flash the sleep as the rest of 100 Thieves starts to show up. Stunt, Cody's son, Ryoma now poking with Jizuke, Kumo, and Bang off in the bottom side. Zazel just jumping from person to person, keeping them topped up. Someday forced to flash that chain as Stunt goes in, locks up Kumo for a moment, and then a Q from Cody's son, Ryoma following up with the R, getting that Q at a much longer range, finishing off Kumo. Jizuke continuing to poke, barely dodging that dredge line from Stunt as Cody's son finishes off the red to make sure that the objective that all of this fight really started over does in fact end up going to 100 Thieves in the end. And now a deep teleport coming in from Evil Geniuses with Jizuke, not knowing he's spotted out by a ward. Cody's son already starting to get away. He's going to deal a bunch of damage to Jizuke. Take him to a quarter HP there. That was a big loss for Evil Geniuses as they burned the teleport, took a lot of damage, and are forcing Jizuke to just immediately recall now. Really just a wasted teleport off of a really good play from Cody's son, thanks to the knowledge that ward gave him, allowing him to know that was coming, so that way he wasn't just caught between Bang and Jizuke, able to just kind of fight Jizuke in that 1v1 rather than get stuck between 2 members. Now in the mid lane, Meteos dropping that Rift Herald. No one from Evil Geniuses there to contest. No turret plates. That's going to fall pretty much immediately. And they're just going to leave it, let it die to Jizuke, who's going to finish it off very quickly, popping that eye there. And that is going to be the first tower of the game, going over to 100 Thieves, opening up that mid lane, really allowing more movement from 100 Thieves, allow them a lot more freedom around those objective areas and just creating some more paths through the jungle. Gonna give them some more advantages when these fights start to break out around the dragon and Baron pit, which the next dragon is up in 15 seconds. So that's gonna be something that is on both teams' radars here. 100 Thieves having a little bit of a vision advantage down in the bot lane, keeping that vision ward down there, as well as a ward in the pit itself from both teams, as both teams now know dragon is up, dragon has just spawned, and it looks like right now both teams rotating immediately to the pit. Kumo and Someday up top. Neither of them have their teleports up. Kumo already starting to roam down. Kumo's going to be there for this fight should it break out soon. Someday nowhere near. It looks like 100 Thieves just trying to clear out some wards, try to get that vision advantage as best they can. And Ryoma just continuing to poke, continuing to do damage. Big amount of damage onto Kumo. A poke from Cody's son onto Svenskeren, but it's going to get quickly healed up by Zazel. Bang just going to start up that blue buff, but 100 Thieves just going to go ahead and roll into the Dragon Pit. 4 members there, going to do it very quickly. Evil Genius is not in a place to really contest here. That's going to be a 3rd Drake over to 100 Thieves, but now it looks like a fight's breaking out. Ultimate goes out, hits Jizuke. Kumo's getting knocked up and finished by Someday and stunned. Ryoma dealing a bunch of damage to Jizuke, who has to use the package to get out. Svenskeren taken really low. Meteos in the backline dealing with Bang, and that's going to be a big amount of damage onto Ryoma, finishing him off with a rocket from Jizuke. Stunt and Kodi-san forced to run. Jizuke jumping in with the help of Zazel. Bunch of damage fired back from Kodi-san, but Jizuke not deterred at all. Gonna get the double kill with a big rocket, finishing off Kodi-san and Stunt. While down in the bot lane, Someday just forced to deal with Bang. That was a big return fire from Evil Geniuses. Not gonna let that dragon go for free. Jizuke following up, doing a big amount of damage here, and now they're just going to take the mid lane turret in response, even that up 1 turret to 1 turret, and push themselves to a 1,500 gold lead now, in spite of the 3 Drakes in favor of 100 Thieves. Really just a good play all around, turning that loss at the Dragon Pit of that main objective into a, maybe not necessarily a win, but at least an even fight there, getting some gold. Meteos checking here for Svenskeren, trying to catch him out, but Svenskeren not pushing in, not getting greedy for that top lane turret, is going to end up being safe, fall back into his jungle to continue to farm. Bang now starting to clear waves pretty quickly, starting to be a bit of a threat. He's got that first completed item with that Infinity Edge. The 4 kills on Jizuke is starting to let him do a lot of damage. He's got that Manamune completed. He's got his Triforce finished, Boots finished, and it looks like he's going for a Death's Dance next with that Aegis. Going for an AD heavy build, which, looking at Someday's build, he is going for that Thornmail. He's got the Ninja Tabi. He's got a Sunfire Cape. He's going to be an absolute monster of a frontline with how all of EG's main damage is AD. Someday is going to be able to get incredibly tanky, going to have upwards of 300 armor very easily. And even though Jizuke has finished that upgraded Manamune, he is still going to, while his passive is going to convert a lot of that damage into magic damage, forcing Someday to not only be able to build armor, still allowing him to. But there's a fight down in the bot lane. Kumo really not able to put a dent in Someday, hitting him with ability after ability, and it's barely making a dent in his health. But Evil Genius is coming in down to help out. Jizuke dealing a ton of damage. Zazel looking to root with that ultimate from Yumi, and that's going to be a call of the Forge God, knocking up Jizuke, dealing a bunch of damage. Someday is going to fall to Kumo, but he's taking turret shots. Ryoma jumping in, dropping that sleep trouble bubble, not going to land. He's going to take a bunch of damage, be killed by Jizuke. Svenskeren forced to ultimate in the 1v1 with Meteos. He's going to stay alive, but Meteos and Stunt going to able to finish him off. But now 3 members of Evil Geniuses chasing down. They're going to finish off Meteos here. Another kill onto Kumo, and that's going to be a big win for Evil Geniuses, doing 3 for 1. Meanwhile, Kodi-san trying to get something in return, pushing in that top lane, getting that 2nd tier turret in the top lane and threatening the inhibitor turret, forcing Kumo to return and help out. Kumo's Kumo's teleport up, allowing him to respond to anything elsewhere on the map. But man, that was a good play by Evil Geniuses, allowing them to get some kills on the board. Up now 10-6, but still 1 turret to 4. The 3 dragons in 100 Thieves' favor. Evil Geniuses are playing really well around kills, but they are not trading objectives very well. 100 Thieves, even though they are just under 2,000 gold down, they are playing the objective game so much better and making headway in their game, which in a lot of ways is going to end up making their game, well, making this game go in their favor more likely. They are much closer to getting a Dragon Soul. They have claimed that one of those Rift Heralds. They have made more pushes in Vision, and it's allowing them to get advantages in areas of the game that are a lot more lasting than just a gold lead. 100 Thieves only 1 dragon away from the Soul there, and it's going to be the Ocean Soul, as that's going to be the next Drake to spawn, which is going to give them a lot of power in their attempt to just poke out Evil Geniuses. Any poke from Jizuke, should they leave it, should it just be small trades, 100 Thieves are going to be able to just heal that up and keep fighting. They're going to be able to keep pushing through a lot of the smaller poke damage from Zazel, from Jizuke, and that's going to allow them to really try to play their game a little more, allow them to continue this poke to big engage that they've been playing. And we also haven't seen a lot of big team fights yet. We haven't seen Someday engage in a 4v4. We haven't seen these teams really come together. It's been a lot of skirmish play, a lot of objective play, because we're only 23 minutes in. We haven't really hit the late part of the game. Kumo waiting very deep as this dragon is about to spawn, it looks like, and he's going to get seen, but he's going to come out now 1v very deep, is separated from his team, but it looks like they're going to get a chokehold here. Jizuke coming in, landing a big ultimate, tying up multiple members. Svenskeren ulting to prevent Jizuke and himself from going down. Stunt forced to use that hourglass, but Someday just immensely tanky. Cody-san going to jump in, finish off Svenskeren and Jizuke. Kumo going to finish off Ryoma off down by that red buff. Now 100 Thieves with Cody-san stunt and Someday still alive. Kumo, Zazel, and Bang looking to answer low HP bars on 100 Thieves side. Zazel keeping everyone topped off as him and Kumo near full HP. Bang at half. Evil Genius is now just looking to go straight down into that dragon pit, start the dragon up. Stunt looking to try and do something here. 100 Thieves, that's a teleport coming out from Someday, who's looking to join in, but Stunt is just going to fall. Stunt dying to Kumo, engaging a little early. Someday not able to even get there before he falls. And now Someday and Cody-san looking to cause some problems here, looking to stop the dragon, which it looks like they are going to do. But Svenskeren is now on the way. Meteos now on the way. It looks like this fight at the Dragon Pit is not over. Teleport coming out, likely from Ryoma here. Yeah, he's going to rejoin the fight. Jizuke on his way as well. That's going to be a missed big Q from Ryoma. It would have done a bunch of damage to Kumo. Svenskeren now arriving. That's the ultimate from Cody-san going out. Damage still. They're all knocking on this dragon. It's going to be a smite fight here unless one team can just get in and stop one jungler. But Dragon's going to reset, gain a bunch of HP back as Ryoma continuing to try and poke. Cody-san continuing to try and poke. Meteos throwing those axes. Someday waiting with no ultimate yet. He's got another, looks like 5 seconds before that ultimate is back up. Stunt coming in. The dragon continuing to just get pulled out, damage done, and reset. Looks like they're letting it reset fully. That's a bunch of damage onto Kumo from Ryoma. 100 Thieves really pushing EG back. EG, a bunch of ultimates coming back up. Zazel, Svenskeren, Kumo all up. Meteos Someday. It looks like most ults are available for this fight. 100 Thieves trying to not let this go. Evil Geniuses look like they're trying to wrap around. They're doing a deep teleport from Kumo. Looks like they're going to try and catch 100 Thieves once again. Kumo coming into the backline as the ult comes out from Zazel. That's going to be a big amount of damage. Kumo popping Ryoma almost immediately. A big Call of the Forge God knocking up several members of Evil Geniuses. Lots of people sitting on the Kindred ultimate. That's going to be Stunt falling. Meteos falling. Svenskeren's going to secure the dragon. Kumo continuing to go. Bang jumping in, getting healed by Zazel. And that's going to be 3 more kills and the dragon for Evil Geniuses. That was a huge fight in their favor as they're going to now just roll straight to Baron. Going to take the Scuttle Crab, continue to move forward, and with Meteos down, this is no threat. The ultimate down from Cody-san, the ultimate down from Someday. Someday now standing on a ward. Evil Geniuses knows he's there. There's 0 threat from him. He doesn't even have that much damage. He's 100% tank. Cody-san going to try and make something happen here, but they might end up just dying for it as Jizuke and Kumo already starting to jump into that fight as the rest, Bang and Svenskeren, just finish off that objective, claiming the Baron buffs. Now 3 minutes here where they can make something happen, and they have pushed to a 5,000 gold lead very quickly, jumping up to 16 kills over 100 Thieves 8. That 1 dragon to 3 not seeming to be as much of a deficit now as Evil Geniuses just really playing around a very high damage team comp here, making sure to get these engages that they need to, and not allowing 100 Thieves to engage on their terms. I think the big thing here is that Evil Geniuses know that their line is very squishy, very damage heavy, and so they're playing around that, really making sure that Svenskeren can keep some key members alive. There have been several times where Jizuke has stayed significantly longer in the fight due to standing on that ultimate. And with Kumo using those teleports really well, using deep wards to get into these fights and just allow the Evil Genius lineup to really force people to choose between dealing with an ultimate active Aatrox or getting pinned by Zazel's ultimate. It's really forcing 100 Thieves into a really garbage situation, forcing them to just have to fall back, not get the setup they want, not get the Call of the Forge God to do what it needs to do. And we haven't seen Meteos able to use his ultimate for anything but trying to run away thus far. He's not actually been able to really run at Evil Geniuses, really cause problems for them. his damage heavy damage heavy build really not working in his favor. He needs some more survivability to just live through Evil Genius's very high damage lineup here. Evil Genius is having pushed down mid, taking that inhibitor, and now rotating top lane, looking to make the most out of this Baron buff here. 5 members from both teams now in top lane, except Kumo from Evil Genius is just threatening the Nexus with that mid lane. He is just pushing in with the minions, forcing someone from 100 Thieves to have to respond. Several members of 100 Thieves pulling back, allowing that turret to fall. Kumo forcing this fight down in the base with the siege minion, making sure that if 100 Thieves didn't answer, something would happen. But he's now way deep, forcing him to use that hourglass. He's going to pop the ultimate, sit next to the wall where he can safely dive out should he need to, and yeah, he's going to get out with no issue. Only thing being cost was that hourglass. The rest of EG just knocking on the top lane here, looking to take that tower down, and it's going to go down very swiftly. It looks like the Baron buff, another 30 seconds. They're going to take 2 inhibitors, fall back, pushing that gold lead to looks about 7,000 gold, as EG now just clearing out the camps and the wards on their way out, just cleaning up as they move away from the 100 Thieves base. Dragon not up for another minute 30, and with 100 Thieves not securing their 4th, it's not going to be Elder Drake, it's going to be another Ocean Drake. And so now 100 Thieves looking to play from really far behind here. Not really sure what they are looking to do, but so far their style of comp has not been working. They have not been able to get these engages. I think they need Someday to really land a good ultimate. They need Stunt to get someone caught out. They need to do more than kind of wait for these Evil Genius engages. A lot of these fights have been very extended openings at the beginning, which have allowed Evil Geniuses to really position in the way they want to, get these fights rolling, allow Kumo to teleport to a deep ward, run around the backside, do whatever he needs to do to get in a position to allow Evil Geniuses to get their engage and really force 100 Thieves into a rough situation. Super Minions pushing in on the top lane, Super Minions causing problems in the mid, but at the top lane they are already reaching the base. 100 Thieves kind of being forced to keep an eye on the map, make sure that they are answering something in every lane and not just allowing map control to fall very handily into Evil Genius's hands here. 17 kills to 8, 7 turrets to 4. Evil Geniuses have really just started to put a chokehold on this game now, just making more and more headway with every fight. Dragon's coming up in 5 seconds. Looks like Evil Geniuses are looking to just take it very cleanly, cleaning out some of this vision, forcing 100 Thieves back a bit. But there are several wards in Dragon Pit that are going to allow 100 Thieves to know this is going down, but they are unable to answer it. Cody-san trying very valiantly with his ultimate, but not quite timing it just right. Missing that, not getting the sneaky steal that you can sometimes pull off if you're lucky. Bang now taking the red buff, just making sure that they take as much possible, letting that go over to Jizuke, who has now 5 items completed, including boots, 815, nearly 300 CS, an absolute monster of damage for Evil Geniuses. His amount of high magic damage, thanks to that passive, proving to be a huge asset here, as it has allowed Someday to not be the most incredible wall that he could have been, and to other members of the team, he really has shown to himself to be that. In these duels with Kumo, we've seen him really just get wailed on for a minute and take like nearly no damage. Kumo now having a Guardian Angel completed, so he can go for these deep engages, these deep teleports, these flanking maneuvers to try and set up these fights for Evil Geniuses. And even with possibly a risky play, he can still end up in a very safe spot with that Guardian Angel should the team be ready to follow up. They are just keeping all the lanes pushed in at all times here. Baron is up in 15 seconds. Evil Geniuses might just look to clear out Vision and claim it very quickly here. Kumo's starting a recall. It looks like he's going to be ready for that. Bang continuing to farm in the jungle. Vision going out around the Baron pit. 100 Thieves looking to push out a little bit, but Jizuke down in the bot lane, it looks like he's going to just threaten that turret, threaten that final inhibitor, force someone from 100 Thieves to have to answer, and it looks like it's going to be Someday, who, while he is able to defend here, he really doesn't offer much threat to killing Jizuke on his own, so other members of 100 Thieves will have to rotate down if they want to make that more threatening, and it looks like Cody-san following suit. Svenskeren just going to start up the Baron with Bang and Kumo here to help him out. 3 members of 100 Thieves coming to check it out. Ryoma and Stunt at the forefront. Looks like EG are going to fall back, let the Baron reset. 100 Thieves do not have vision over these 4 members of Evil Geniuses that are sweeping through their side. And it looks like they're just teleporting to the base. They're just going for the win. With the Super Minions knocking on the gate, they're going to get there before 100 Thieves even are able to answer. 2 members of 100 Thieves teleporting back. It looks like Ryoma, Cody-san, and Someday now fighting with Kumo. Kumo is deep in, taking half his HP. Svenskeren going in. The ultimate from Zazel slowing Stunt, and Ryoma allowing Evil Geniuses to finish him off. Stunt at half HP. Svenskeren 3/4. Kumo nearly at half now as Zazel has started to top him back up again. Someday proving to be a wall here, but really not a big damage threat. He's knocking up Bang and Jizuke. Meteos going in, but he gets immediately blown up. Someday being finished off. Cody-san and Stunt now forced to fall back as Evil Geniuses take both turrets and really just finish the game in a decisive manner, rolling from dragons to barons into the base and showing that even with a very attack damage heavy comp, even with a very frontline lacking comp, through just really good strategic play, really just making these great decisions, forcing fights on their terms to their win conditions, they have made a game that just shows how well team play really is going to win you these fights, with those really, really good vision control, really good deep wards that allowed Kumo to get those flanking maneuvers, force 100 Thieves into Zazel's ultimate, never allow 100 Thieves to engage on their terms, and allowed for, while it was a slow start, Evil Geniuses to really just run that game once they started to get their control, once they got some of those fights they needed, once they started to get those items. That game just fell into their trap. They never let go from that point forward and just built a lead bigger and bigger and bigger until claiming the Nexus and winning the game.